Good morning, students. Now we discuss about the exercise 11.3 third problem. You see here, this is a question. Suppose the amount of milk sold daily at a milk booth is distributed with a 200 liters and a maximum of 600 liters with the probability density function f of x equal to k. The interval is 200 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 600 and 0 otherwise. Find the value of k. The second subdivision is the distribution function. Third subdivision is the probability that daily sales will fall between 300 liters and 500 liters. You see here, that means these are questions. That means the milk sold daily. That means the milkman sold the milk daily at a milk booth. So it's distributed with a 200 liters and a maximum of 600 liters per day. He will say sold the 200 liters and a maximum he sold the 600 liters with the probability density functions. So here the probability density function given. Probability density function means small f of x. So here small f of x equal to k. K means this is the function. F of x equal to k means the interval is 200 to less than or equal to x less than or equal to 600 and 0 otherwise. So see, the question is value of k. Now we first find out the value of k. Next is the distribution function. Third one, the probability that a daily sales will fall between 300 liters and 500 liters. You see here, now we find out the value of k. So value of k means already I told that you find out the k values, you take the conditions, total probability equal to 1. So the total probability means integral minus infinity to plus infinity, since f of x is a probability density functions. So probability density function means you take the total probability equal to 1. Total probability means integral minus infinity to plus infinity f of x dx equal to 1. So here you see minus infinity to plus infinity means 200. That means we take the interval, that means 200 to 600. So 200 to 600, and the function is f of x equal to k. So k into dx equal to 1. So next k into integral of dx is x. So the limit is 200 to 600. Therefore 600 minus 200 means it is a equal to 1. Now I substitute the limit. Upper limit means 600. 600 minus 200 equal to 1. So 600 minus 200 means 400. 400 k equal to 1. So k equal to 1 by 400. This is the k values. That means k equal to 1 by 400. So now we substitute in the given functions. That means the given function is f of x equal to 1 by 400, 200 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 600, 0 otherwise. Subdivisions. Next, second subdivisions, find the distribution function. Distribution function means we represented by capital F of x. So capital F of x means the integral value is integral minus infinity to plus x f of t f of u du or f of t dt. So here the interval is, first I take the interval. That means you see the questions. The question is f of x equal to k. That means 200 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 600 and other limits are 0. So I take the interval minus infinity to 200. So minus infinity to 200 means f of x equal to minus infinity to x. This is a formula. Distribution function formula. F of x, capital F of x equal to integral minus infinity to x f of t dt equal to integral minus infinity to 200. The function is 0 because you see your given function f of x equal to k when the interval is 200 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 600. Otherwise f of x equal to 0. The interval is other limit. Other limits means minus infinity to, that means minus infinity to 200 is the other limit. It goes to the other limit. So otherwise limit means 0. The function is 0. So 0 into dx. So therefore you write it. So 0 into dx means here dt will come, 0 into dt. So the integral of 0 is 0. Next x belongs to 200 to 600. 200 to 600 means capital F of x. Capital F of x equal to, that means the limit is minus infinity to plus x f of t dt. That means minus infinity to 200 plus 200 to x. So minus infinity to 200 means f of t dt. Here dt will come plus integral 200 to x f of t dt. See here minus infinity to 200 means it goes to the otherwise limit. So otherwise limit means the function is 0. F of t equal to 0. I substitute here. Plus next integral 200 to x f of t. That means 200 to x. It goes to the interval 200 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 600. So the function is f of x equal to, that means f of x equal to k. So I substitute. So k means here f of x equal to k means 1 by 400 into dt. So 1 by 400 into integral of dt is dt. I substitute the limit 200 to x. So upper limit minus lower limit. Upper limit minus 1 by 400 into x minus 200. So x minus 200 means x by 400 minus 200 by 400. 200 by 400 is, it is a 1 by 2. Therefore the answer is capital F of x equal to x by 400 minus 1 by 2. This is the answer for the interval 200 to 600, and minus infinity to 200, the answer is 0. So next subdivision C, third problem, subdivision C. The probability of that daily sales will fall between 300 liter and 500. So they ask about that means the sold of the milk will fall between 300 and 500. So here when x belongs to 600 comma infinity, so f of x equal to, so you see here this is the continuation of the third subdivisions, that means second subdivisions. The second subdivision is ask about the distribution function. So here I take that this is second subdivision continuations. X belongs to 600 to infinity. So f of x equal to, the formula is minus infinity to plus x f of t dt. So I substitute minus infinity to 200, 200 to 600, 600 to x. So minus infinity to 200 is 0. The limit is, the function is 0. Next 200 to 600. So 200 to 600 means the function is that means f of t means here 600 to x means it is here f of t equal to that means 600 to x. The f of t is 0. The limit is, the function is 0. But 200 to 600, you see here, that means 200 to 600, the function is f of t equal to 1 by 400. So I substitute 1 by 400 into, the first limit is 0 because minus infinity 200 is otherwise limit. Otherwise limit means it's f of t equal to 0. Next third is 600 to x is, it is the otherwise limit 0. Next 200 to 600, 200 to integral 200 to 600, so f of t dt. So f of t function is 1 by 400. I substitute 1 by 400 into integral 200 to 600 dt. So integral of dt is t. So t, I substitute the limit 200 to 600. So 600 minus 200 is 400. So 1 by 400 into 400 is 1. Therefore the answer is second limit, second integral value is 1. Therefore the answer is 1 for the limit of 600 to infinity. Therefore I write the distribution function f of x, capital F of x equal to 0. 0 means x less than 200. Next x lies between 200 to 600 means the function is, distribution function is x by 400 minus 1 by 2. Next x belongs to 600 to infinity means the function is 1. So this is a distribution function. Therefore capital F of x equal to 0, x less than 200, and x by 400 minus 1 by 2, x belongs to 200 comma 600, and 1, x belongs to 600 comma infinity. This is the answer. This is the answer for distribution function. You see here that you come to the third subdivision. The third subdivision is the probability that daily sales will fall between 300 to 300 liters and 500 liters. The milk sold falls between 300 to 500. So I write the probability of 300 less than x less than 500. So that means f of 500 minus f of 300. F of 500 means this 500 lies in the interval, that means x minus 400 by 1 by 2, that functions. So it take this function. So I substitute x equal to 500. So 500 minus by 400 minus 1 by 2, 300. That means the function is x equal to 300. The function is x by 400 minus 1 by 2. So I substitute x equal to 300. So therefore I write it. That means you see here minus 1 by 2. That means I write the minus 1 by 2, minus of minus plus 1 by 2. So minus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2, and the next 500, you see the 400 denominator is common. So 400, that means 500 minus 300, minus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 I cancelled. Therefore 500 minus 300 is 200. 200 by 400 means 0 cancelled. So 2 by 4 means 1 by 2. So this is the answer for probability of 300 less than x less than 500. Therefore probability of 300 less than x less than 500 equal to 1 by 2. This is the answer. You see the fourth problem. the probability density function of x is given by, probability density function means small f of x, so they give the small f of x equal to k into e power minus x by 3 for x greater than 0 and 0 for x less than or equal to 0. So they ask the question, so find the value of k, subdivision 1. Second subdivision, the distribution function. Distribution function means we will calculate the capital F of x. So next, third subdivision is probability of x less than 3. Fourth subdivision is probability of 5 less than or equal to x. Fifth subdivision is probability of x less than or equal to 4. So here you see here, so f of x is a probability density functions. So now first we find out the k values, because you see your function f of x equal to k into e power minus x by 3 for x greater than 0 and 0 x less than or equal to 0. X less than means minus infinity to x, that in limit represent this. X greater than 0 means, that means infinity to x to infinity. So you see here, now first we find out the k values. So we will find out the k values. First we take the conditions, total probability equal to 1. So total probability means integral minus infinity to plus infinity f of x dx equal to 1. This is the total probability. So now I substitute the f of x. The f of x value is k into e power minus x by 3 into dx. So here you see dx equal to 1 means here x will come, here x will come. So therefore k is a constant, I write in the outside, and integration of exponential means e power minus x by 3 by minus 1 by 3, because x coefficient is minus 1 by 3, I divide that, so by minus 1 by 3. So therefore I can write the constant in the outside, k by minus 1 by 3 into e power minus x by 3. I substitute the limit. So I substitute the limit means minus, here this minus infinity to plus infinity, I write it the minus infinity to 0 plus 0 to infinity. Minus infinity 0 means it represent the, otherwise that means x less than or equal to 0. X less than or equal to 0 represent the minus infinity to 0. The answer is 0. So I substitute. Next, plus 0 to infinity. 0 to infinity means the function is k, here 0 to infinity means k e power minus x by 3 dx will come. So I substitute 0 to infinity. That means this minus infinity to plus infinity I split it by 2 integral. That means the 2 limit. That means minus infinity to 0 plus 0 to infinity. Minus infinity to 0 means the function is 0. 0 to infinity is means the function is k e power minus x by 3. So here 0 to infinity, here 0 will come. 0 to infinity k e power minus x by 3 dx equal to 1. So the next step I write it, that means k into, now I integrate this, integration of the e power minus x by 3 means e power minus x by 3 by minus 1 by 3. So k by minus 1 by 3 into e power minus x by 3, I substitute the limit 0 to infinity equal to 1. So this minus 1 by 3 I write it minus 3k into, I substitute the upper limit e power minus infinity e power 0. So equal to, the right hand side is here 1, here 1 will come, the bracket will come here. So therefore minus 3k into e power minus infinity is 0, minus e power 0 is 1. So minus into minus plus. So 3k equal to 1, k equal to 1 by 3. Therefore the k value is k equal to 1 by 3. So first we find out the k values. So I substitute in the given function f of x equal to, that means for k value is 1 by 3. 1 by 3 e power minus x by 3. So x greater than 0 and 0 x less than or equal to 0. So you see here the distribution function. Now the second, you see the second subdivisions, they ask about the distribution function. Distribution function means capital F of x. Capital F of x means this is the formula, integral minus infinity to x f of t dt. So here, so minus infinity to x means a capital F of x equal to minus infinity to x f of t dt. So the limit is 0, because x less than or equal to 0 represent the minus infinity to x. Its answer is 0. So next, so x belongs to minus infinity comma 0 means I represent the limit, that means minus infinity to x f of t dt means the function is 0. So next, I take the limit x belongs to 0 to infinity. 0 to infinity means this is the f of x formula, capital F of x equal to integral minus infinity to x f of t dt. So I substitute, that means f of infinity to 0 plus 0 to x. So minus infinity to 0 means it comes to the second, it goes to the second interval. Second interval means x less than or equal to 0, the function is 0. So f of t dt, here dt will come. So f of t dt means here f of t means 0. So next is 0 to x. 0 to x means it goes to the first interval, that means x greater than 0. So x greater than 0, so f of t dt. So the first integral value is 0 plus next f of t. So the f of t answer is 1 by 3 e power minus 1 by 3 dt. Now you see here 1 by 3 is a constant. I write in the outside. Next I integrate the e power, here x by 3 will come, not 1 by 3, e power minus x by 3. So I integrate the exponential of minus e power minus x by 3. So e power minus x by 3 by here 1 by 3 into I divide the coefficient, that means minus 1 by 3, that means e power in the outside 1 by 3, e power minus x by 3 by minus 1 by 3. So the answer is the 1 by 3 cancelled, so minus e power minus x by 3. I substitute the limit, the 0 to x will come in the here in the bracket, so 0 to x. First I substitute the upper limit, so upper limit means e power minus x by 3. Next I put the minus sign here, I substitute the lower limit, so e power 0 is 1, so minus of, already there is a before here minus will come, so minus of minus plus, here in the outside minus will come, so therefore minus into minus plus, therefore e power, you see here e power 0 is 1 minus e power minus x by 3. This is the answer for x belongs to 0 to infinity. Now I write the distribution function, capital F of x equal to, that means 1 minus, you see here, that means 1 minus e power minus x by 3. This is a function for the limit 0 to, that means 0 to infinity means x greater than 0. Next term, f of x equal to 0, the limit is minus infinity to 0. Minus infinity to 0 means x less than or equal to 0. This is a interval. X greater than 0 means 1 minus e power minus x by 3. X less than or equal to 0 means 0. This is the answer for the distribution function. Capital distribution function means we represented by capital F of x. Capital F of x equal to 1 minus e power minus x by 3 for x greater than 0, 0 for x less than or equal to 0. So you see the third subdivision. So the third subdivision is probability of x less than 3. Probability of x less than 3 means we take the probability of x less than or equal to 3. That means f of 3. So f of 3 means it goes to the interval x greater than or greater than 0. So the function is, that means 1 minus capital F of x, the function is 1 minus e power minus x by 3. Here x equal to 3, I substitute, minus 3 by 3 is e power minus 1. So next probability of 5 less than or equal to x. So 5 less than or equal to x means I reverse the equation, probability of x greater than or equal to 5. So I write it 1 minus probability of x less than 5. So 1 minus x less than 5 means it is a, that means I write it f of 5. F of 5 means I substitute the function. So 1 minus, the function is, that means 1 minus e power minus x by 3. Here x value is 5. So 1 minus e power minus 5 by 3. Therefore 1, that means plus 1 minus 1 cancelled. So minus into minus plus, e power minus 5 by 3. This is the answer for the probability of 5 less than or equal to x. Next fifth subdivision. The fifth subdivision is probability of x less than or equal to 4. So probability of x less than or equal to 4 means f of 4. F of 4 means the function is 1 minus e, this is x equal to 4 represent the x greater than 0. X greater than 0 means the corresponding function is x equal to 4 is the positive, so it is a greater than 0 interval. So greater than 0 means the function is 1 minus e power minus x by 3. So we take x equal to 4. So 1 minus e power minus 4 by 3. This is the answer for here. Therefore probability of x less than or equal to 4 equal to 1 minus e power minus 4 by 3. This is the answer. So now we discuss about the fifth problem. If x is the random variable with the probability density function f of x given by f of x equal to x plus 1, that means minus 1 less than or equal to x less than 0, and minus x plus 1 0 less than or equal to x less than 1, and 0 otherwise, that means the x lies between minus 1 to 0 means the function is x plus 1. X lies between 0 to 1, the function is minus x plus 1, otherwise 0. Then find the distribution functions f of x, and next probability of minus 0.5 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 0.5. So first you see, so first they ask about the distribution function. Distribution function means capital F of x. So the capital F of x formula is integral minus infinity to x f of t dt. This is the formula for capital F of x. So now first I take the limit, x belongs to minus infinity to minus 1. So minus infinity to minus 1 means minus infinity to x f of t is minus infinity to minus 1 means the otherwise limit. It comes to the otherwise limit. So the function is f of t is 0. So I substitute here. So f of t equal to 0 means integral of 0 is 0. Next x belongs to 1 to minus 1 to 0. So x belongs to minus 1 to 0 means integral f of capital F of x equal to integral minus 1 to x minus 1 to x, that means f of t dt equal to, I substitute here, that means the formula is integral minus infinity to x. So I substitute, that means here minus infinity will come, minus infinity to x, therefore minus infinity to, the limit is minus 1 to 0, so minus 1 plus minus 1 to x. So minus infinity to minus 1 means it is the otherwise limit means f of x equal to 0, so I substitute f of t equal to 0, so integral of 0 is 0, plus next integral minus 1 to x f of t, so f of minus 1 to x means this is the first limit, so first limit is x plus 1, I substitute the function x plus 1 dt equal to, now I integrate the x, integration of here t will come, so I integrate, because f of t, the formula is f of t, so t plus 1, so integration of t means t square by 2 plus integration of 1 means t, so I substitute the limit minus 1 to x, so first I substitute the upper limit, so t equal to, I substitute x, so x square by 2 plus x minus, so minus I substitute the lower limit, so t square equal to minus 1 means minus 1 whole square is plus 1, so plus 1 by 2 plus I substitute t equal to minus 1 plus 1, so that means t equal to minus 1 minus 1, so that means minus of 1 by 2 minus 1, so I multiply the minus in the factor, so minus 1 by 2 minus of minus 1 plus 1, therefore f of x equal to, that means x square by 2 plus x, this minus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2, we add it, we get the answer plus 1 by 2. This is the answer for f of x equal to x square by 2 plus x plus 1 by 2. This is the answer for x belongs to minus 1 comma 0. Next I take the interval x belongs to 0 to 1. So 0 to 1 means you see x belongs to 0 to 1. That means f of x means we write it integral minus infinity to x. This is the formula, capital F of x equal to integral minus infinity to x f of t dt equal to integral minus infinity to minus 1 plus minus 1 to 0, because the limit, you see the limit minus 1 to, first limit is minus 1 to 0 and 0 to 1, so I write it minus infinity to x means minus infinity to minus 1 plus minus 1 to 0 plus 0 to x. You see here minus infinity to 1 means the function is 0, otherwise limit 0 plus integral minus 1 to 0 f of t, f of minus 1 to 0 means the function is minus 1 to 0 x plus 1, so that means t plus 1 dt plus next 0 to x, integral 0 to x means it represent the interval 0 less than or equal to x less than 1, so 0 to 1 it represent the interval, so the function is minus t plus 1 into dt. You see now we integrate t, integration of t is t square by 2 plus integration of 1 is t, so the limit is minus 1 to 0 plus next integration of minus t is minus t square by 2 plus integration of 1 is t, so the limit is 0 to x. I substitute the upper limit, so upper limit is 0, so 0 square 0, g plus 0 0, so 0 minus I substitute the lower limit, minus 1 whole square means 1 by 2, I substitute t equal to minus 1, so plus next I substitute the upper limit minus x square by 2 plus x minus I substitute the lower limit 0 0 0, so next that means here 0 minus 1 by 2 minus 1 means minus 1 by 2, minus of minus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2, next plus next that means minus x square by 2 plus x, so here that means you write it here. So you see here this is the last step, minus x square, here minus x square, minus sign will come, minus x square by 2 plus x minus, that means here 1 by 2 minus 1 means minus 1 by 2, so minus of minus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2, here 1 plus 1 by 2 will come, that means integral f of x equal to integral minus infinity to x f of t dt means the f of x answer is minus x square by 2 plus x plus 1 by 2, this is the answer. You see here when x belongs to 1 to infinity, so f of x equal to integral minus infinity to x f of t dt, so I substitute minus infinity to minus 1 f of t dt plus minus 1 to 0, 0 to 1 and 1 to here 1 to infinity, so here that means 1 to x here will come, this is the x not infinity, 1 to x, So therefore minus infinity 1 means it is a otherwise limit, so 0, the function is 0. Next minus 1 to 0, so minus 1 to 0 means it represents the function as minus 1 to 0 means that means f of t equal to here x plus 1, so x plus 1 dt. So next 0 to 1, 0 to 1 means the limit, the function is minus x plus 1, so minus means minus t plus 1. So next plus 1 to x means it is a otherwise limit, the function is 0. So here that means minus 1 to 0, minus 1 to 0 means x plus 1, so x plus 1 dt plus next 0 to 1 means minus t plus 1 dt plus f of t means 0. So therefore we write it, that means we write it down, that means integral minus 1 to 0 t plus 1 into dt, the answer is 1 by 2 plus next integration of this means minus t square minus t, that means integration of t is t square by 2, I substitute minus t square by 2 plus integration of 1 is t, so t I substitute the limit 0 to 1 equal to, that means 1 by 2 plus I substitute the upper limit minus 1 by 2 plus 1 and lower limit is 0. So therefore minus 1 by 2 plus 1, the limit is, the answer is 1 by 2, 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 is 1. So therefore f of x is equal to 1. Now I write the distribution functions. F of x equal to x less than minus 1, the function value is 0. Next minus 1 less than or equal to x less than 0, the function value is, the function is x square by 2 plus x plus 1 by 2. Next 0 less than or equal to x less than 1, the function is minus x square by 2 plus x plus 1 by 2. Next 1 less than or equal to x, the function is 1. So this is a function, this is a distribution functions, that means capital F of x equal to 0 x square by 2 plus x plus 1 by 2 for the interval 1 to 0, minus x square by 2 plus x plus 1 by 2 for the interval 0 to 1, and 1 for the interval 1 less than or equal to x. So next we calculate the probability of minus 0.5 less than or equal to x less than 0.5. So probability of minus 0.5 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 0. means upper limit minus lower limit. So f of 0.5 minus f of minus 0.5. So f of 0.5 means this 0.5, it goes to the function 1 by 2. Next minus 0.5 means it goes to the functions, that means 0.5 means it is a f of 0.5 are represented by 1 by 2, and minus 0.5 means are represented by minus 1 by 2. So the next step, so see here, that means second solution, probability of minus 0.5 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 0.5, that means f of 0.5 minus f of minus 0.5. so f of 0.5 means it represents the limit, that means 0 less than or equal to, it represents the limit 0 less than or equal to x less than 1, that means minus x square by 2 plus x plus 1 by 2, that functions minus x square by 2 plus x plus 1 by 2, x means 1 by 2, so minus 1 by 2 whole square by 2 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 minus next f of minus 1 by 2, x equal to minus 1 by 2, x equal to minus 1 by 2 means it represents the functions, that means minus 1 less than or equal to x less than 0. So second interval, it x equal to minus 1 by 2, you see the capital F of x limit, capital F of x limit means that means x less than minus 1, the function is 0. Second limit is second interval is minus 1 less than or equal to x less than 0. Capital F of x, I tell about the capital F of x in the previous step, I tell, that means capital F of x equal to, the function is 0, the interval is x less than minus 1. Next the function is x square by 2 plus x plus 1 by 2, the interval is minus 1 less than minus 1 less than or equal to x less than 0. Next third interval minus x square by 2 plus x plus 1 by 2, the interval is 0 less than or equal to x less than 1. Fourth one 1 less than or equal to x. You see here, that means x equal to 1 by 2, x equal to 1 by 2 means it goes to the third interval. Third interval means 0 less than or equal to x less than 1 means x equal to 1 by 2 lie in the third interval. So the function is minus x square, I write it minus x square by 2 plus x plus 1 by 2, therefore I substitute x equal to 1 by 2. So minus 1 by 2 whole square by 2 plus x equal to 1 by 2, so 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 minus next x equal to minus 1 by 2, x equal to minus 1 by 2, I substitute in the I substitute in the second interval. So the second interval is minus 1 less than or equal to x less than 0, that means x square by 2 plus x plus 1 by 2. So x equal to, that means x equal to minus 1 by 2, so minus 1 by 2 whole square by 2 plus plus x means minus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2. So the next step you write it, that means 1 by 4. So 1 by 4 by 2 means minus 1 by 8 plus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 is plus 1 minus again 1 by 8 minus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 minus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 cancelled. So the next step minus 1 plus 8. So minus 1 plus 8 means plus, that means here minus 1 minus 1 by 2 plus 1 by 2 cancelled. So minus 1 by 8 minus 1 by 8, 2 times of 1 by 8, so 1 minus 2 by 8. So next I just cross multiply, 8 into 1 8, 8 minus 2 6 by 8. This is the answer for this probability of minus 0.5 less than or equal to x less than 0.5 means 6 by 8, therefore 6 by 8 means 0.75. This is the answer. So now we discuss about the sixth problem. You see, if x is the random variable with the distribution function f of x given by, so here capital F of x means distribution function equal to first function 0. The interval is minus infinity. Here minus infinity will come, minus infinity less than x less than 0. So minus infinity less than x less than 0. Next second function 1 by 2 x square plus x. The interval is 0 less than or equal to x less than 1. Third one is 1. That means the interval is 1 less than or equal to x less than or equal to infinity. 1, the interval is, third interval is 1, this interval is incorrect. That means 1 less than or equal to x less than infinity, third interval. So the question is, then find the distribution function f small, that means then find probability density function, not distribution, probability density function. The find probability density function small f of x, subdivision to probability of 0.3 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 0.6. you see. So here x is the random variable with the distribution functions, that means capital F of x equal to 0, x less, that means the interval is minus infinity less than x less than 0. Next 1 by 2 x square plus x, the interval is 0 less than or equal to x less than 1. Third one 1, that means the interval is 1 less than or equal to x less than infinity. So the question is, find the probability density function. Probability density function means small f of x. Next the second subdivision, probability of 0.3 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 0.6. you see, find the probability density function. Probability density function means f of x equal to, we know that probability density function means small f of x, but already they gave the capital F of x. So the formula is small f of x equal to d by dx of capital F of x. So now I differentiate the every function in the capital F of x. So small f of x equal to d by dx of capital F of x means I differentiate the 0. Differentiation of 0 is 0. I differentiate the second function 1 by 2 into differentiation of x square is 2x plus differentiation of x is 1, 2x plus 1. Limit does not change. We write the same limit. Here infinity, minus infinity less than x less than 0. Minus infinity will come. 0 less than or equal to x less than 1. Next I differentiate the constant. Its answer is 0. 0. Here the limit is 1 less than or equal to x, that means 1 less than or equal to x less than infinity will come, third interval. So first and second interval you see your book. So next you see therefore capital F of x equal to, because I take, that means 1 by 2 2x plus 1, 0 less than or equal to x less than 1, other limits are 0. So otherwise other limit means minus infinity, that means minus infinity less than x less than 0 is 0. Next 1 less than or equal to x less than infinity is 0. So therefore this is a probability density function, small f of x equal to 1 by 2 2x plus 1, 0 less than or equal to x less than 1, and other limits, otherwise limits are 0. You see here second subdivisions, probability of 0.3 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 0.6. So that means the probability of 0.3 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 0.6 means upper limit minus lower limit. You see upper limit is f of 0.6 minus f of 0.3. So therefore this is a 0.6. This 0.6 the function is this x equal to 0.6 lie in the interval 0 less than second interval. That means 0 less than or equal to x less than or equal to less than 1, 0 less than or equal to x less than 1. The function is 1 by 2 x square plus x value is 0.6, so 0.6 whole square plus 0.6 minus, next x equal to 0.3, the same interval, that means this x equal to 0.3 lie in the interval, that means 0 less than or equal to x less than 1, that means lie in the interval 0.3 whole square plus 0.3. Therefore the next step 1 by 2 into, you write it, that means 1 by 2 is the common, so I take outside, I write it outside, 1 by 2 into, that means 0.6 whole square means 0.36 plus 0.6 minus 0.3 whole square means 0.09 minus 0.3. So the next step 1 by 2 into, so we add it, we add the 0.36 plus 0.6 means 0.96 minus 0.39 equal to 1 by 2 0.57. so it to divide the 0.57, the answer is 0.285. this is the answer, 0.285. this is the answer for probability of 0.3 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 0.6 equal to 0.285. So now we discuss about the alter method, that means probability of 0.3 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 0.6 means integral 0.3 to 0.6 1 by 2, that means the function is 1 by 2, that means small f of x is 1 by 2 into 2x plus 1, so that means 0.3 plus 0.6, it goes to the second interval in the small f of x. So small f of x means the function is 1 by 2 2x plus 1. I substitute here 1 by 2 2 into x value 2, that means 1 by 2. Now I integrate this 1 by 2 into integration of 2x plus 1 is 2x plus 1 whole square by 2. The limit is 0.3 to 0.6. Therefore here the next step 1 by 2 into, that means 2 2s are 4. So next I substitute the upper limit, so 2 into 0.6 plus 1. So next minus lower limit, so minus 1 by 2, that means here 2 into 0.3 plus 1. So the answer is, you see here the integration of 2x plus 1 is 2x plus 1 whole square by 2 and the coefficient of x is 2. So again the 2 divide in the denominator, 2 in the denominator, so 2 into 2 4. So 4 and here 1 by 4 will come, 4 come in the denominator, so 2 4s are 8, therefore 1 by 8. I substitute the upper limit and lower limit, so the answer is, that means 1 by 8. So I substitute the upper limit, the answer is 4.84 minus I substitute the lower limit, is the answer is 2.56. Therefore 1 by 8 into, I subtract this, so 4.84 minus 2.56, the answer is 2.28. Therefore 2.28 by 8 is 0.285. this is the answer. This is the answer for probability of 0.3 less than or equal to x less than or equal to 0.6. We complete the class.